Let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no sequel.
Ricky Gervais has been far from someone who could shy away from controversy, and this unapologetic involvement in woke culture has made him a darling comedian in a pool of criticism. His exodus from shooting has caused so many needless arguments, but one thing is clear: Ricky Gervais is not afraid to ruffle feathers. Except for their glitz, glamour and influence, the Hollywoods of America have also turned to political posturing. The celebrity world has proven to be an excellent platform for self-promoting personal beliefs, which, however, only just necessitates bringing in a generous share of the audience. That excites Gervais to laughter and keeps him bed-named. He has done this more than once by turning the guns to celebrity activists who made it clear that he would not be joining them for the other few issues they barely comprehend, declaring them disconnected and hypocritical. This is probably what has brought Gervais to shine brighter than any. The critique is that Hollywood's moral grandstanding seems more self-serving than genuinely sussing out the issues they appear to support. Those who appeared as champions of these issues have become more interested in virtue signaling than bona fide engagement with them. He sees this as performative to expose its absurdity in public view. His perfect wit and cutting commentary turned him into what has looked like a personal one-man crusader against what he considers hollow gestures from the entertainment elite. Gervais' most iconic example of attacking woke culture came during the Golden Globes, where he delivered a monologue in front of an audience crammed with the biggest Hollywood names, one that pulled no punches. He roasted the industry's penchant for lecturing everyone while ignoring its might. Gervais' humor thrashed, causing laughter from some and an uncomfortable silence from others. It became a masterclass in comedy, with perhaps the bluntest reflection of Hollywood's hypocrisy.
Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. So we were going to do an in memoriam this year, but when I saw the list of people that had died, it wasn't diverse enough. It just, no. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent. If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and so it's already 3 hours long.
Outside of his Golden Globes act, Gervais has taken to interviews as well as stand-up specials to lambast the ridiculous art of woke culture. He has questioned the soundness of some of its extreme strands and showed ways in which it stifles free discussion and critical thinking. Wokeism, notes Gervais, has ushered in an era of quick offense-taking and slow reasoning about issues. He's particularly scathing about the trend of shutting down contrary opinions, calling it a very dangerous tendency against free speech.
My last show, Supernature, dropped on Netflix last year. Big backlash, wasn't there? Big backlash. People going, you can't say that. You can. I did. Yeah. The inevitable backlash, which made it the most watched special of the year. So, I've learnt my lesson.
One issue where Gervais has attracted a fair share of controversies is his comments on subjects such as gender identity. Some of his comments around dead naming angered various groups of people. Critics even called him insensitive. But then, Gervais did not apologize. He made it clear that he meant no harm in trying to question the rigidity of woke ideology. For him, comedy is a tool for throwing light into discomforting truths, not a weapon used for forcing conformity.
But I'm a considered comedian. I like my jokes to be accurate and my targets to be fair. So I was engaging these people. I was saying, why is it transphobic? And they were saying, it's about a trans person. I said, well, that's ridiculous. That's like saying a joke about Bill Cosby is automatically racist. It depends on the joke. But I was talking to them, I'm willing to learn, and I found out my crime was that I dead named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did.
Another of Gervais' recurring themes is that of the virtue signal. He has repeatedly called out people for using social justice causes as a high-priced megaphone for inscribing their image into public space. For Gervais, this is precisely the kind of tone that debases real issues into talking points and takes the complexity out of them. He is especially hard on folks who self-proclaim as saviors, with the paint that anyone who has dissenting views is either uninformed or out to damage. He believes this creates a marketplace where real advancements are sacrificed on the altar of phony presentations of ethos.
How arrogant are you to think that you deserve to go through life with no one ever saying anything that you don't agree with or like? I want people to stop saying that joke's offensive.
Yeah.
I want them to start saying I found it offensive. Because that's all it is. You're
Yeah.
just telling me how you feel about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing intrinsically offensive about the fact. Don't change the fact, change the feelings.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pave the jungle.
Yeah.
You can just grow a pair and have a laugh about it.
Gervais also noted the hypocrisy in wokeness concerning comedy. He says that a particular group is quick to decry offensive jokes while ignoring the other types of extreme provocativeness that enjoy their approval. Selective outrage, apparently, is a form of hypocrisy Gervais claims further debases the principles that woke culture purports to uphold. To him, comedy is that which criticizes all opinions rather than only those that are palatable to some sections of society.
You remember those jokes we used to have when we were kids, like doctor jokes, like doctor, I keep thinking I'm a pair of curtains. Well, pull yourself together then, right? I've done a woke version of that, brought it up to today's standards, right? So, bloke goes to the doctor. He goes, doctor, I keep thinking I'm a pair of curtains. And the doctor goes, well, you are then.
Such protest against any artist's view is not new for Gervais. He has seen all the aspects of the angry mob at the online level and the public condemnation end. But he has made it clear that such comments are not valid for him. As per Gervais, the main aim of a comedian should be to think and leave a thought spark, even if such spark happen to happen in the wrong place or go a little awry from what is usually right or appropriate. Gervais has not apologized nor modified his actions, but has accepted as part of raising such sensitive subjects for treatment and associated conflict.
Just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right, you know? It's... offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second-guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that. But, you know, you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing. And freedom of speech is so important these days. If you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof.
Criticism does not stop at wokeness. Instead, it extends to societal currents that it typifies. Concern has also been about the new increasing lack of tolerance for contrary opinions, threatening free speech above everything else. Admitting differences, in Gervais' view, is a public good that fertilizes public health. Such denial, he insisted, counteracts and puts society in danger of its health. Gervais doesn't see the use of comedy more than a means by which to raise issues and subtend the enormities within absurd modern discourses through laughter.
Hi guys, Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity, I know all about stuff, like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, it's like a hate crime and it makes me sad and angry. And I'll leave the country, and you don't want that.
He has remained defiant despite the uproar, challenging various facets of life, from cancel culture to celebrity activism. He continues to advise using the platform to dissent against the status quo. His unapologetic attitude is appreciated by a section of people who admire the truth-speaking attitude of some celebrities. He considered comedy not as entertainment, but as a means of exposing harsh truths and bringing about real conversations. That is why Gervais' critique sits so well with many people, effectively combining humor and very incisive, hard-hitting observation. To listen to him is to witness sharp wit coupled with fearlessness. The result is both engrossing and contemplative. Not every person would want to take on a touch of this spice for himself, yet one thing is perfectly apparent. Gervais is making a point that reaches into a larger cultural conversation about the role of comedy, free speech, and limits of political correctness. No way are these criticisms Gervais publicly making on his wokeness without their partaking to his general way toward life and comedy. He firmly believes in the question of authority and has an extremely religious sense that humans are bound to see the world differently. For Gervais, jokes and comedy should push the limits and, apparently much more, dive into the complexities of human experience. What distinguishes him from the rest is his commitment to authenticity and intellectual honesty. Yes, Gervais may use a polarizing approach, but a clear drawback is it has been effective. Indeed, he has made valuable conversations through this attitude about the very nature of comedy, free speech, and cultural norms. Wherever you stand on Gervais' views, one cannot deny that the man has. Rather, he has laid the groundwork for a significant cultural impact. Critiquing woke culture, not only has Gervais challenged the entertainment industry, but forced audiences to think much more critically regarding the world around them. Ricky Gervais's unapologetic approach to jokes and social comments forges him as one of the very most provocative voices in entertainment. That was sparked on a broader front dialogue about the factor of comedy in subverting social norms via addressing woke culture and political posturing in Hollywood. Hence, love him or hate him, Gervais' fearless tackling of tough subjects make him a force to reckon with in comedy, and then beyond too.